The room felt smaller than I remembered, as if the walls crept closer in the night, trying to hear the thoughts I kept losing, while the dim lamp struggled to stay alive. Against the cold glow of my silent phone, I stared at the clutter on my desk again. Old notes curled at the edges like leaves, tasks I once cared about now gathering dust. Each one a memory of who I used to be before my mind began its slow, quiet fade. I used to feel sharp, fast, alive inside. My ideas once sparked like falling stars. Now they slip away before I can blink, running through my hands like warm sand, leaving quiet spaces I cannot explain. I wonder when the fading truly began. Was it sudden or slow like drifting smoke? A shadow crawling across my thoughts, touching everything I tried to focus on, whispering that I was losing control. You know that feeling deep inside, when focus falls through tiny cracks, and you fear it won't return again. Some nights I sat there for hours still, watching my phone glow like a blue ghost, calling me back with every vibration, promising comfort while stealing time, leaving me numb without noticing why. I kept telling myself I was just tired, that life felt heavy for a reason now. But deep down something felt different, as if my mind had slipped underwater, and every thought moved like a shadow. You try to hold on, but it drifts away. You try to think, but it turns to noise. You try to care, but nothing feels sharp. I looked at my phone again in silence. Its screen lit my face with cold light, almost like it was studying my flaws, waiting for the moment I gave in fully, surrendering without knowing I had lost. Memories of old focus haunted me then, days when I could sit for long hours, working like my mind was a firestorm, ideas leaping forward without effort, dreams appearing faster than fear did. But those days felt like another life, a life I watched from behind glass now, pressing my hands against the surface, hoping I could break through the blur and breathe clearly again somehow. You know that ache, don't you, truly? That quiet grief for who you once were, the version of you that didn't drift. Sometimes I whispered to myself softly, asking why focus left without warning, why my thoughts slipped through cracks, why my heart felt far from my body, why nothing stayed where I put it. At night the silence grew heavier still, like the air was thick with secrets. Secrets I had forgotten I once knew, secrets stolen slowly day by day, until I blamed myself for the loss. I kept thinking maybe I was weak now, maybe I was slower than everyone else, maybe the world moved without me, maybe I had fallen behind forever, maybe this was my new empty normal. But a voice inside kept pushing back, telling me something was not my fault, telling me something unseen shifted, telling me I wasn't broken at all. You feel that voice sometimes too, a spark under the layers of fog, a hint you weren't the cause of this. I leaned back in my old wooden chair, listening to the hum of the silence, feeling the weight on my shoulders, the weight of questions unanswered, the weight of a fading, restless mind. And then something strange hit me, a thought sharper than the others, so clear it startled me upright, so strong I couldn't ignore it, so true it made my chest tighten. What if something stole my focus? What if something drained my mind? What if something fed on attention? What if I was never the problem? What if I had been hunted slowly? You know that fear, don't you now? The fear that maybe it wasn't you. The fear something else was pulling. I stared at the phone again, frozen. Its glow colder than before somehow. Its silence louder than thunder now. Its presence thick like unseen breath. Its pull deeper than I ever noticed. And in that moment, everything shifted. Not outside, but inside my awareness. Like a curtain opening in my chest, showing me a truth hiding in plain sight. A truth I was scared to even name. My heartbeat slowed as I whispered, words I wasn't sure were mine anymore, words that felt like a quiet warning, words that tasted of shock and grief, words carried by trembling breath. But what if I told you it wasn't your fault? A pattern started forming in my mind, quiet at first like steps in the dark, but slowly growing louder each day, until I could no longer ignore it, until truth pressed against my chest. My life felt like fast-cut fragments, notifications slicing through silence, ads flashing like bright metal edges, sounds jumping out without warning, chaos disguised as daily convenience. I always blamed myself for falling, for drifting, losing time, forgetting. But suddenly something felt wrong, like I had walked into a hidden trap, one built perfectly for my weakness. You've been fighting without knowing, a battle designed before you noticed, an enemy studying every reaction. What if your brain was reprogrammed, not loudly but quietly over years, shaped by designs you never saw, guided by systems built to hook you, pulled by forces you never named? I remember one simple evening once. I sat down just to read a few pages. A calm moment meant only for me, but a buzz lit my phone instantly, a tiny spark stealing my attention. I told myself it was just a second, just one small check, nothing major. But 1 second slid into another, and another one after that too. Minutes melting like warm candle wax. Before I knew it, time had vanished. I wasn't reading anymore at all. I was trapped in a scrolling spiral. My thumb kept moving like it followed a rhythm learned slowly over months without my consent. It felt like the screen was guiding the motion, pulling my mind forward in tiny quiet steps until I forgot I ever meant to read at all. I scrolled through jokes and strangers' lives, through ads crafted to trap my attention span, through stories designed to trigger impulse, each one another hook disguised as comfort, each one stealing a fraction of my focus. How did 90 minutes vanish so quickly, leaving me lost and unsure where they went? How did a peaceful night turn into fog, filling my chest with a soft, empty ache, while my book remained untouched beside me? You felt that same pull tighten inside you, a strange tug you can't explain or control, a drift that steals hours without permission. The truth hit me harder than I expected then, a truth sharp enough to break through fog, showing me distraction wasn't a weakness, but something designed to guide my habits, shaping how I think without my awareness. Every swipe fed it new information to study. Every pause revealed something about desire. Every click exposed patterns I never saw. Every moment taught how I reacted next. Every habit slowly reshaped what I valued. And I stayed blind to the pattern for years, because everything felt normal on the surface, because society told me this was modern life, because nobody warned me what I was doing, because losing focus felt like my own fault. You've carried that same blame in silence too, thinking your slipping attention was failure, never seeing the trap tightening around you. Suddenly everything connected in my mind, as if threads of truth wove into a single line. Every distraction became a clear signal now. Every lost hour pointed toward the same source. Every foggy thought revealed its quiet maker. My brain wasn't simply overwhelmed by noise. It was being nudged, shaped, and redirected, not by instinct, but by carefully built systems, not by nature, but design hiding in plain sight, design created to win my attention forever. My mind had stumbled into something new, something evolution never learned to fight, something studying every small reaction, something engineered with perfect precision, something I never agreed to battle against. And you've met it too every single day, in ways so subtle you barely notice it, yet deep enough to bend your attention. It spoke directly to instinct, not logic, whispering rewards into your impulses, offering comfort when days felt heavy, promising escape from pressure and pain, while quietly feeding on your focus. This thief didn't break doors or chase me. It arrived disguised as connection itself, soft, warm light replacing real silence, giving me stimulation when I felt tired, asking only for small seconds in return. But those seconds were priceless pieces of awareness you truly need to live, pieces that form the root of your identity, pieces taken so quietly you never noticed until you woke up feeling strangely drained. You felt that drain tug at your energy, that hollow space where focus used to live, that slip you can't explain to yourself. I sat there breathing slowly in the dark, feeling the weight of truth settle in me, as if clarity finally pierced the silence, as if fog dissolved from my tired mind, as if I woke from a long digital sleep, because the signs were impossible to deny. My mind wasn't naturally falling apart. It was being gently pulled thread by thread, reshaped in ways I didn't recognize before, bent by a thief I never saw entering. A question formed deep beneath my ribs, heavy enough to tighten my heartbeat, sharp enough to cut through excuses, cold enough to freeze every thought, echoing louder than the silent room. What if your brain didn't change naturally? What if change happened by pure design? What if you were nudged without knowing? What if control slipped through your hands? Because your brain has met something evolution never prepared it to survive. The street felt louder than I remembered it. Voices tangled like wires in a dark room. Horns punched through the heavy morning air. Footsteps spread vibrations through the ground. Everything blended into thick mental fog. I tried to walk with calm, steady breathing, but every sound pressed hard into my chest. Every movement stole a small piece of focus. Every stranger's face blurred into streaks. Noise wrapped itself around my thoughts. I realized I wasn't thinking anymore. No direction, no intention, no clarity. I was reacting to everything around me, moving like a shaken compass needle, never pointing where I wanted to go. When was the last time you sat silently, holding a single thought without drifting, without reaching for a glowing device? I kept walking though my legs felt heavy. Advertisements flashed like bright signals. Screens flickered from every shop window. Voices spilled from speakers above me. The city pulsed like a restless machine. A man brushed past me muttering fast. A bike rushed inches from my shoulder. A siren cracked open the thick air near me. Cars squeezed through narrow traffic lines. Each sound sliced through my attention. My mind felt like a radio losing signal, jumping between stations violently, catching half sentences in static. Never a clear channel to hold on to, never a moment of real quiet inside. Have you noticed that same inner noise, that buzzing that refuses to disappear, no matter how badly you want silence? I try to focus on one simple thought, just one clear sentence in my mind now, but vibrations shook it loose instantly. Another honk replaced it halfway through. Then another voice tore it apart again. It was like trying to hold water firmly, but everything slipped through fingers. No shape, no stillness, no steady form. Thoughts evaporated before forming. Nothing stayed long enough to grasp. I felt my heartbeat picking up again, matching the rhythm of the noise. My chest tightened like a closing fist. My mind drowned under sharp signals. A strange emptiness grew inside me. Tell me honestly, have you felt that too? A moment where thought becomes fog, and your mind feels like borrowed space. I looked around searching for quiet, but the world kept pushing in harder. Screens blinked in every direction. Notifications echoed from pockets. People hurried like sparks in a storm. A woman on her phone walked into me. She didn't look up or pause at all, just kept scrolling like hypnotized. Her thumb moved with practiced speed, eyes locked deeper than consciousness. For a second I saw myself in her face. The same glazed stare I once ignored. The same unconscious reach for escape. The same pull toward constant noise. The same slow drowning I recognized. When did distraction become instinct? When did noise become our default? When did silence feel unsafe to us? When did our minds shift this far? When did I stop hearing myself? What if distraction isn't a habit now? What if it has grown into addiction? What if noise became the new comfort? I try to recall the last quiet moment, a true stillness untouched by screens, a time when I sat with only my breath, a time when I stayed present and real without craving sharp digital sparks. But nothing surfaced in my memory. All I remember were quick signals, tiny rewards that train my brain, notifications shaping my impulses, constant motion replacing clarity. My mind felt trapped in spinning gears, like machinery grinding deep inside, metal scraping against metal loudly, filling my chest with restless friction, the kind no silence could fix anymore. You know that friction, don't you now? That inner scraping that won't stop. That pressure under every thought. The street noise shook me suddenly. A loud bus engine roared behind me. Children yelled across the sidewalk. Music blasted from a passing car. It felt like everything collided inside. My thoughts shattered like thin glass, fragments spinning with sharp edges, none of them forming full sentences. Just incomplete pieces of ideas lost. Just raw noise where thought should be. I stopped walking and closed my eyes. But closing them made things worse. The noise filled the darkness too fast. My mind became a crowded hallway, voices crossing without direction. I wasn't living with my thoughts now. I was surviving their endless chaos. My mind had become unfamiliar to me. Not a home, but a storm-filled chamber, where silence could not take root. Have you noticed a shift as well? The way your brain reacts constantly, instead of choosing what to focus on. I opened my eyes trying to breathe, but focus felt slippery and distant. Thoughts felt like fog in bright light. My brain felt numb, yet overloaded. My identity felt slightly fractured. It hit me with terrifying clarity then. I wasn't losing my mind randomly. I was losing it systematically now. Every distraction carved deeper lines. Every noise rewired old instincts. My thoughts no longer belonged to me. They rushed to whatever stimulus hit. My mind jumped for every vibration. My attention obeyed every signal. I reacted before I even realized it. And that's when the truth sank in. This wasn't just mental clutter. This was slow internal collapse. A descent into constant static. A breaking I could finally feel. And then something inside me begins to break. The night felt heavier than usual to me. I lay staring at the ceiling in silence. Its pale surface felt cold and distant. Shadows stretched across fading light. My breath felt slower than my thoughts. The room held a quiet kind of pressure, like the air knew something I didn't. My chest rose with restless tension. My mind moved like trembling water. Nothing inside me felt still tonight. I wasn't living my life anymore now. I was scrolling through pieces of it, losing hours to meaningless motion, trading presents for glowing screens, becoming someone I didn't recognize. You felt that emptiness too inside, the one hiding under your heartbeat, the one you don't talk about often. I turned slowly to my silent phone. Its black screen waited patiently, like a dark eye watch in my mind, ready to open the moment I touched, ready to consume another evening. I whispered a promise to myself then. Just one chapter before I sleep now. Just a little calm for my tired mind. Just some time without distraction. Just one moment of clarity again. But the moment I opened my book up, my focus dissolved almost instantly. Letters blurred like distant shadows. Thoughts drifted without boundaries. My hand reached for the phone again. It moved before I could even think, like muscle memory over my will, like instinct built from repetition, like the pull of gravity itself, like I had no control anymore. Why am I doing this again tonight? Why do I repeat what leaves me empty? Why can't I stay with my own mind? Why does silence feel uncomfortable? Why do I avoid myself so often now? You know that question too deeply. The shame that whispers very softly. The fear you're losing something real. I tapped the screen and it woke up, Blue light washed over my tired face. Notifications burst like small sparks. One tap opened a new bright world. A world built to pull me further in. I told myself I had control of this, that I could stop at any moment. But one swipe became another one, and another slide followed quickly. Minutes melted without resistance. My promise faded into quiet regret. The book closed beside my pillow. Time slipped through me unnoticed. My thoughts drifted away again. I felt myself becoming fog inside. This wasn't who I wanted to be now, but it was who I was turning into. A version shaped by every impulse. A self drifting without direction. A mind slipping away from itself. You feel that shift too sometimes. That subtle change you can't name. That loss hiding under your habits. I scrolled through strangers laughing, through perfect stage photographs, through loud arguments in comments, through heartbreak packages reels, through stories that weren't mine. And the more I scrolled through them, the less I felt connected to myself. My identity felt stretched thinner. My emotions felt secondhand now. My focus felt painfully distant, not because I was tired or bored, not because life felt stressful, but because something inside me had grown too dependent on noise, too comfortable with distraction. I wasn't living my nights anymore. I was surviving them quietly numb, wrapped in endless hollow content, hoping something would fill me. But nothing ever truly did it all. You know that numbness intimately. The empty calm after long scrolling. The void that stays when lights fade. My mind felt heavy yet overstimulated, like a storm of sparks trapped inside. Every thought mixed with another one. Nothing clear, nothing steady anymore. Just noise pretending to be relief. I tried to close my eyes and rest then, but stillness brought louder thoughts. Memories mixed with random images. Voices from videos echoed faintly. My brain played chaos without pause. I realized something terrifying then. I wasn't thinking with intention now. I wasn't choosing my own thoughts. I wasn't controlling my own focus. I was reacting like a blinking light. I wasn't living my life at all now. I was scrolling through pieces of it, watching moments instead of living, letting time slip without meaning, losing myself quietly every night. You've been there too, haven't you? Lying awake with a restless heart, wondering where your time goes. My chest tightened as I stared up. A soft ache pulsed through my ribs. A feeling of quiet personal failure. Not dramatic, just deeply human. Not loud, just painfully honest. This wasn't who I wanted to be. Not the drifting version of me. Not the scattered, tired mind. Not the lost late-night scroller. Not the silent, collapsing self. But it was who I was becoming. Slowly, quietly, relentlessly so. Night after night after night. Until I barely noticed a shift. Until I barely recognized myself. And then it hit me suddenly now. A realization sharp enough to cut. A truth heavy enough to sink me. A moment I could no longer avoid. A moment that changed everything. Until one moment forced me to confront the truth I feared most. The cafe felt warm and oddly familiar. Soft music drifted through the air now. People whispered over steaming cups. Rain brushed quietly against windows. It should have been a peaceful place. I sat alone with a book on my table. Its open page waited for my focus. Words lined up neatly in silence. Stories ready to unfold inside me. Yet none of them reached my mind. How did I lose the ability to think? How did presence slip from my life? How did a page feel like a mountain? How did one paragraph overwhelm me? How did I break without noticing? You've had that moment too, haven't you? When you try to focus but can't begin. When your mind refuses to stay still. I read the first sentence slowly again. Then the second one just as carefully. But the meaning never settled inside. My eyes moved but nothing landed. My mind drifted like loose paper. A notification buzzed in my pocket. My heart jumped before I touched it. Not out of interest but conditioned pull. My focus broke like thin, fragile glass. My thoughts scattered instantly again. Why can't I hold one simple thought? Why does silence feel uncomfortable? Why does my brain reach for noise? Why do I escape moments of stillness? What happened to my older self? You know that feeling deep inside, trying to focus but slipping fast, losing seconds before you blink. I close the book feeling frustrated now. My fingers pressed against the cover, as if holding it tighter helped focus. But the words still felt unreachable. My thoughts drifted like slow smoke. People around me seemed so present. A couple laughed softly at their table. 2 students scribbled focus notes. An old man read with a calm rhythm. Everyone looked grounded but me. Why does my mind feel caged today? Why does focus feel like lost memory? Why did I surrender without fight? When did my attention lose its strength? When did I stop being truly here? You've wondered that too many times. Why your mind resists your intention? Why focus feels harder every year? I stared at the same paragraph again. Each word felt lighter than the last. None of them carried real meaning. My eyes just drifted across letters. Empty motions without connection. A quiet realization grew inside me. Not loud but sharp in its honesty. I hadn't lost interest in reading. I had lost the ability to be present. Presence felt foreign to my mind. How did I fall this far unnoticed? How did distraction become normal? How did noise become my comfort? How did silence become unsettling? How did I forget how to focus? Your attention is a muscle inside, but the world has kept it in chains. You feel that weight every day. I looked around the cafe slowly now. Every sound pulled at my attention. Clinking cups tapped at my focus. Footsteps scraped across the floor. Even whispers felt strangely loud. My brain reacted to everything near, to motion, to noise, to small details. It jumped before I chose direction, like a trained reflex, not a choice. Like presence had slipped away. When did my mind start obeying noise? When did it stop listening to me? When did I become this person now? Lost in thought, yet never thinking. Present, yet never truly here. Awareness is the very first step. The moment you finally see truth. The moment denial starts breaking. Something shifted quietly inside me. A truth rising from a deep forgotten place. A feeling I had buried for far too long. A knowing I could no longer ignore now. I wasn't losing focus by accident here. I was being pulled away from myself. Pulled by noise shaped to control me. Pulled by systems not built for peace. Pulled from my own inner stillness. Pulled from who I used to be then. This wasn't weakness inside my mind. This wasn't failure growing in silence. This was conditioning hiding in habits. This was addiction disguised as normal. This was chains I never saw forming. You feel those chains on your mind. Heavy, quiet pressure on your focus. Holding you back without warning. I looked back down at the open book. Its words waited like patient friends. But I couldn't meet them honestly yet. My mind felt tangled in old patterns. I felt the weight of years of drift. All the nights lost to empty scrolling. All the mornings filled with fog again. All the moments I never truly lived. All the thoughts drowned in noise. All the clarity I once took for granted. I didn't choose this slow, quiet fall. I didn't choose this scattered mind. I didn't choose this restless life. But I let it happen unnoticed, until it became my new normal. You've lived that quiet fall too. That slipping without realizing. That loss of yourself in noise. I breathed slowly and held my gaze still. Just one paragraph, that was all I asked. One moment of undivided attention now. One chance to reclaim what I had lost. One step back toward my real self. But my mind twitched at every motion. A chair sliding, a spoon tapping loud. A call from across the crowded room. Even the hum of lights shook my focus. Everything demanded a piece of me. How did my attention become this weak? How did noise gain so much power now? How did I let the world train my mind? How did presence turn into struggle? How did life drift without warning? But what if there's a way back? What if your mind can return? What if focus can rise again? I closed my eyes, breathing deeper now, letting silence settle inside my chest, letting noise loosen its tight hold. letting truth rise through the fog, letting awareness reshape my mind. Something inside me began to clear, a slow returning sense of control. Not perfect, not strong, but present. A tiny spark inside the darkness. A reminder of who I used to be. I wasn't broken beyond repair now. I wasn't lost without direction. I wasn't trapped in this forever. I was waking up to my own truth. I was seeing my chains clearly now. Your attention isn't gone forever. It's waiting beneath the surface. It remembers who you used to be. I opened my eyes with new clarity. The book still lay open before me. The paragraph still waited calmly. The world felt less controlling now. My breath felt steady once again. A thought formed slowly within me. Not born of fear, but awakening. I had been living on autopilot, pulled by noise I barely noticed, drifting from myself unknowingly. My attention wasn't truly weak. It was simply untrained by quiet, conditioned by endless signals, built around modern temptation, bent by design, not by failure. This wasn't the end of my focus. This was the beginning of seeing, of understanding the real cause, of reclaiming what I had lost, of waking up from the blur. You feel that shift too, don't you? That moment where truth appears. That feeling of rising awareness. I lifted the book with intention. For the first time in a while now, the page no longer felt impossible. The words no longer felt distant. Focus felt reachable once again. My mind didn't snap back instantly, but something inside me realigned. A slow return toward inner stillness. A quiet rebuilding of lost strength. A reminder that presence is possible. Focus is a muscle inside your mind, but the world has kept it in chains, wrapped in noise disguised as comfort, held by habits you never questioned, bound by systems built to distract. But muscles grow when used again. They strengthen when challenged. They return when we train them. I took one slow breath and read. Just one sentence, nothing more. The words landed softly this time. They stayed inside my awareness. They felt like mine once again. Then I read the second sentence, this time without drifting away. My attention held instead of shaking. My mind anchored to the moment. Presence felt strangely natural. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't easy. But it was real and it was mine. A tiny victory after long silence. A moment I didn't run from noise. A moment I didn't lose myself. I felt myself returning slowly, piece by quiet piece inside, like a blurry image sharpening, like light entering a dark room, like waking from restless sleep. And you can feel that too inside, because awareness is the first step. Awareness breaks the silent cycle. I sat taller with a calmer breath. The cafe sounded softer somehow. The noise didn't control my mind. The world didn't pull me so easily. I felt grounded for the first time. A realization rose sharp and clear. If I wanted my focus back fully, I couldn't keep living like before. I couldn't stay tied to old habits. I couldn't cling to digital comfort. I had to break free intentionally. Step beyond modern conditioning. Unlearn the pull of endless noise. Rebuild the muscle of attention. Reclaim the path I drifted from. This wasn't who I wanted to be, but it was who I was becoming. Mind drifting, body present lost. Thinking less, living half awake. Until I chose to rise again now. You felt that desire too often. The need to reclaim your mind. The hunger for inner clarity. I closed the book gently smiling. Not because I finished anything, but because I finally started. Started to notice my patterns. Started to wake up again. I realized something crucial then. The world wasn't slowing for me. Life wasn't pausing for recovery. Distraction wouldn't fade alone. I had to reclaim, control myself. My focus wasn't gone forever. It was waiting to be rebuilt. It was waiting to be chosen. It was waiting beneath chaos. It was waiting for awareness. I whispered to myself quietly, words I hadn't spoken in years. I'm coming back to myself now. A promise not to the world, but to the mind I abandoned. A truth settled deeply inside me. one I couldn't ignore anymore, one that sharpened everything, one that changed the direction, one that broke the silence. To rebuild your focus, you must first break free from the world that's breaking you. Silence felt unfamiliar the first time, like stepping into forgotten terrain. The room breathed with quiet weight. Time slowed down in gentle layers. My mind hesitated inside stillness. I reached for my phone instinctively, not from need, but from conditioned pull. My hand froze midway this time now. A small win, but it felt monumental. I placed it face down with intent. It felt strange at first, I promise. Like removing a mask long worn. Like seeing my real face clearly. Like stepping back into myself. Like meeting my mind again slowly. Yes, you can rebuild your focus now. And no, it's not too late for you. Your brain remembers your past. I turned off notifications silently. Each switch felt like reclaiming air. Like peeling noise from my body. Like removing wires from my mind. Like freeing thoughts long trapped. Unplugging felt like rebellion now. A stand against years of drifting. A return to the present moment. One small action after another. Change built in quiet motions. Why did silence feel so unusual? Why did calm feel like a stranger? Why did my mind shake at stillness? Why did I avoid my inner world? Why did noise feel like safety? Because noise became my default. Because chaos shaped my habits. Because stillness takes courage. I sat down in the center of my room. No music, no voices, no signals now. Just me and the hum of existence. A space I rarely allowed myself. A space my mind had forgotten. At first, my thoughts resisted hard. They bounced in restless circles. They begged for stimulation again. They reached for old distractions. But I stayed with the discomfort. It felt like sitting in cold water, shocking my mind with stillness. A sensation unfamiliar and raw. But slowly something softened. Slowly my breath found rhythm. This is what presence felt like. This is what I once lived with. This is the self I abandoned. This is clarity beneath chaos. This is focus relearning life. 1% wins built my return. Micro sessions of pure attention. Moments too small to overwhelm. Moments strong enough to shift. Moments that rewired my brain. Set one timer for 5 minutes. Choose one task without noise. Stay with it fully and gently. Let focus feel natural again. Let presence grow quietly now. And cut the noise ruthlessly. Silence every useless alert. Remove app stealing minutes. Clear space on your home screen. Give your brain room to breathe. Everything changed when I did this. My mind felt lighter than before. Thoughts sharpened at the edges. Stillness no longer frightened me. Focus began healing naturally. Relearning stillness took practice. But 5 minutes was a spark. 5 minutes of being with myself. 5 minutes without hiding away. 5 minutes of quiet returning. Try it gently in your own life. 5 minutes, then another 5. Let your mind remember stillness. Next came depth training slowly. One task chosen with intention. No switching every few seconds. No escape when boredom arrived. No running from simple effort. At first, depth felt uncomfortable. My mind twitched at every pause. Urges begged me to check things. Inner noise tried to pull me back. But I breathed through all of it, because depth builds strength now. Depth trains real concentration. Depth rewires scattered circuits. Depth returns lost mental power. Depth brings the mind back home. My attention was not broken then. It was simply untrained by chaos. Untouched by real intentionality. Waiting beneath digital noise. Ready to return if I called it. You may not believe it yet, but your focus is still inside you. It's waiting below the static. It's quieter but still alive. It's yours to reclaim again. I unplugged 1 hour each night. No screens, no sounds, no signals. just presence with small actions. Cleaning, reading, stretching slow, letting my brain settle gently. It shocked me how strange it felt. To just exist without stimulation, to sit in quiet without panic, to feel the world without screens, to be with my thoughts honestly. It felt like breathing underwater, like surfacing after long years, like waking in my own body again, like hearing my real voice inside, like rising from forgotten depth. I asked myself one question then, the kind that breaks illusions, the kind that reshapes identity. What would my life look like if I finally reclaimed my mind? Everything shifted at that moment. The question echoed through me. It opened something deep inside. It cut through old tired stories. It revealed a new direction now. You've asked this question too. Late at night in restless silence, wondering who you could become. I felt it clearly in my chest then. A subtle shift like inner gravity. A pull toward a quieter future. A future I could finally shape. A future I could fully inhabit. My circuits weren't broken truly. They were tangled by distraction, twisted by habits of survival, worn down by endless noise, but not beyond repair at all. With each quiet step I took now, those circuits began reconnecting. Attention became smoother again. Thoughts became sharper again. Presence grew stronger again. Rewiring didn't feel dramatic now. It felt gentle and deeply human, like returning home slowly, like remembering an old truth, like waking from a long dream. Your mind can heal the same way. Your attention can strengthen too. Your depth can blossom again. I exhaled softly with new peace. The silence felt natural to me. Stillness felt like belonging now. My mind felt like a calm river, flowing without frantic noise. My phone sat untouched nearby, not calling me, not pulling me, just resting without control, just an object, not a master, just noise I chose to quiet. And that's when it happened. The moment everything aligned, the shift deep within the mind, the truth rising from silence, the spark I had waited for. And then something shifts inside you. The sunrise crept softly into my room. Warm gold brushed across my desk now, light revealing a newly cleared space. A pen rested beside an open notebook. The morning air felt fresh and alive. I sat slowly, letting breath guide me. Silence felt like a calm invitation. My thoughts settled without battle. Presence returned in gentle waves. I felt ready in a way I'd forgotten. I wasn't fighting distraction now. I was choosing attention again. Choosing clarity over confusion. Choosing depth over drifting. Choosing a life I could feel. You are not losing focus at all. You are rediscovering your mind. You are waking into yourself. A soft peace washed across my chest. Not dramatic, just deeply grounding. Like finding a lost part of myself. Like returning to a familiar home. Like remembering who I really was. My desk looked different that day. Not cluttered with scattered tasks. Not drowning beneath distraction. But intentional, peaceful, and open. A place for my mind to breathe. I picked up the pen with purpose. Its weight felt honest in my hand. The page before me felt inviting. Its blank space carried potential. A quiet canvas ready for creation. My mind isn't a broken machine. It's a wild animal at the edge, ready to obey with right guidance, ready to follow gentle direction, ready to learn discipline again. Your mind works the same way too. It's not damaged or disappearing. It's waiting for your leadership. I wrote my first sentence slowly. Each letter felt like a small return. Each word shaped new inner clarity. Each line built deeper intention. Each moment drew me back inside. The world outside felt quieter now. Noise didn't command me anymore. My mind didn't flinch at silence. Stillness no longer felt threatening. Presence grew with every breath. This was who I wanted to become. A person who could hold focus. A person grounded in stillness. A person guided by intention. A person fully alive inside. You could become that person too. Your focus is still within reach. Your strength is not forgotten. I stood and opened my window then. Cool air drifted into the room now. Birds called softly in the distance. Light painted new shapes on walls. The day felt full of quiet promise. My attention felt newly sharpened. Not perfect, but more connected. Clearer than days before this one. Stronger than last week's fog. More loyal to my intention now. I wasn't escaping myself today. I was choosing to show up fully. I felt grounded in every breath. I felt aligned with who I was. I felt awake in a new way. What will you create with this? With your new rising attention? With your clearer inner world? I returned to the desk with ease. My mind no longer pulled in chaos. My thoughts aligned into order. My focus moved with direction. My identity shifted quietly. This wasn't a battle anymore now. It was a homecoming to myself. A reunion with forgotten clarity. A rebuilding of inner strength. A return to the thinker I was. The story wasn't about losing. It was about rediscovering. The self behind the static. The mind beneath the noise. The clarity under confusion. You feel that shift inside, too. A tug toward deeper control. A reminder of who you are. I leaned forward and began again. Not rushed, not pressured, not broken. Just present and fully connected. My thoughts moved with intention. My words formed with confidence. My attention obeyed my command. Like a trained creature relearning. Like a wild mind returned home. Like strength that never left me. Like power waking from sleep. My mind was never the enemy. It was the guide I ignored. It was the voice I muted. It was the ally I forgot. It was mine all along. Your mind is your companion, too. Not a threat, not a weakness now. Not fading, but learning again. I felt a deeper truth rising then. One that shaped my entire journey. One that reframed every struggle. One that changed my identity. One that echoed quietly inside. I wasn't trying to be focused. I was becoming someone who leads their mind. Someone who masters presence. Someone who creates deeply. This version of me felt familiar. The thinker I once used to be. The creator buried under noise. The child who loved quiet work. The soul hungry for depth. And the same version lives in you. Waiting beneath tired habits. Waiting beneath digital noise. Waiting beneath forgotten focus. I watched sunlight fill the room. Its warmth touched my notebook. My pen moved with new honesty. My breath matched its rhythm. My mind felt steady like stone. I realized something beautiful now. Focus wasn't just a skill at all. It was identity returning home. It was purpose rising again. It was me becoming whole. This shift felt like a beginning, not the end of any journey. Not closure, but awakening. Not final chapter, but prologue. Not finish, but foundation. You are not losing yourself now. You are stepping into yourself. You are becoming someone new. I closed my notebook softly then. The page filled with fresh words. Not perfect, but fully intentional. Not forced, but deeply grounded. Not chaotic, but genuinely mine. A quiet smile touched my face now, because something felt different. Something felt stronger inside. Something felt newly awakened. Something felt unmistakably true. Because the story isn't ending, it's beginning. The morning air felt crisp and honest. Sunlight spilled across quiet streets. Leaves rustled with gentle softness. Cool wind brushed against my skin. The world felt real in every breath. I walked slowly with steady rhythm. Each inhale pulled me into clarity. Each exhale released old shadows. My senses sharpened step by step. Stillness settled deep in my chest. I found something I feared was lost. Not a memory, but a deeper truth. The version of myself buried away. The one swallowed by constant noise. The self I thought gone forever. And what will you reclaim now? What piece of you waits in silence? What truth calls your name again? I paused beneath a rising sunrise. Warm light painted the horizon gold. Birds moved across the glowing sky. Clouds drifted like peaceful thoughts. The world breathed with open arms. For a moment I said nothing at all. No rush, no sound, no distraction. Just presence alive in one breath. Just me standing inside my life. Just clarity without interruption. This was the feeling I missed most. The quiet truth beneath chaos. The soft confidence inside focus. The strength born in awareness. The homecoming to my own mind. Focus is a simple skill you gain. It's the place you return to fully. It's the self before the noise came. I walked further down the long road. Trees swayed gently with morning air. Light shimmered across wet ground. Everything carried deeper meaning. Everything felt beautifully present. My thoughts moved without rushing. Clear, steady, and fully connected. No slipping, no drifting, no fog. Just honest flow from within me. Just thought I could finally trust. I wasn't chasing silence anymore. I was living inside it naturally. I wasn't forcing focus each time. I was becoming the one who could. I was returning to my real self. You're closer to that return now. Closer than you allow yourself. Closer than your doubt believes. The world around me looked new. Not because it changed at all, but because I finally noticed. Sights I once ignored appeared. Sounds felt soft instead of loud. A child laughed near a fountain. Water splashed in bright arcs. Wind carried small drifting leaves. A cyclist glided down the street. Life moved with gentle clarity. I felt grounded in every detail, not overwhelmed by movement, not pulled by random signals, not scattered by loud thoughts, not drowning in mental noise. Presence returned like old music, familiar notes built from silence. Each moment carried clear depth. Each breath felt full and honest. Each step felt wholly intentional. And you can feel this too inside. A slow shift waking your focus. A pull back to your deeper self. I sat on a nearby bench quietly, watching the world without hurry, letting the morning pass gently, letting my mind rest without fear, letting clarity settle comfortably. Something within me felt aligned, like threads woven back in place, like circuits reconnecting slowly, like a story returning to center, like identity rising from ashes. This is what it means to return, to find the self beneath noise, to meet your mind with respect, to see life without distraction, to breathe as your true self. Focus is a home built from moments, not forced but gently chosen now, not demanded but deeply grown. As I stood, I felt lighter inside. My heart beat with quiet strength. My mind hummed with clear energy. My steps matched my intention. My thoughts stayed within reach. A truth formed slowly within me, not loud but deeply important. I had not been fighting myself. I had been fighting modern noise, a war I never chose to enter. But now I walked out of it fully, not broken but transforming now, not lost but sharper than before, not drifting but deeply awake, not fading but returning whole. I found myself in small choices, in silence instead of chaos, in depth instead of impulse, in calm instead of escape, in presence instead of fear. And you can find yourself too, in each breath you choose now, in each quiet moment you allow. I reached the end of the long path. Sunlight warmed my tired hands. Birdsong filled quiet morning air. The city awakened softly around. Everything felt connected again. I whispered the truth to myself. Words that tasted like freedom. I am finally home inside again. A simple sentence yet powerful. A promise I never thought I'd say. My return wasn't dramatic at all. It wasn't loud or overwhelming. It was slow, gentle, and human. It was built through awareness. It was born from choosing life. The world looked brighter now. My thoughts felt kinder to me. My mind rested with confidence. My identity felt sharp again. My presence felt truly alive. And what will you reclaim? Your time, your mind, your story. Your strength, your focus, yourself. I took one final breath of morning, feeling grounded in my new path, feeling whole in the rising light, feeling the shift deep within me, feeling the truth I once feared. Because There's one last truth you need to hear. The room fell into a deep, still silence. No vibrations, no noise, no distractions. Just the weight of truth surrounding me. My breath moved slowly through the air. My thoughts sharpened into one point. I lifted my head with calm awareness. Everything I had learned aligned now. All the signals, all the patterns matched. I finally saw what I once ignored. A truth too sharp to look away from. You didn't lose your focus at all. The world stole it piece by piece. Not loudly, but in quiet moments. Shaping your habits carefully. Pulling your mind from itself. But now you are taking it back. Taking back your attention. Taking back your direction. A close heaviness filled the room. Not fear, but powerful clarity now. The truth felt like a mirror rising, showing me what I could reclaim, showing me who I could become. My heartbeat slowed with purpose. My breath carried strength again. My thoughts moved without chaos. Everything inside me aligned well. Everything felt real and honest. Your focus is your living future. Your attention is your inner power. Your mind always belonged to you. It never left, not even once. It only needed your awareness. And now you see it too clearly. Now you feel the shift inside. Now you rise into yourself. The moment grew brighter quietly, like truth glowing through silence. I realize what comes next now. A step only I could choose to take. A path built by presence, not noise. Because this isn't the ending now. This is the first step forward. The beginning of your return. You were distracted for so long inside. You felt broken in quiet, hidden ways. You thought the fault lived in you. You carried blame heavy on your chest. You believed you had lost yourself. But now the truth stands before you. Your mind was never beyond repair. Your focus was always reclaimable. Your strength was waiting under noise. Your life is still yours to shape now, in a world built to steal attention. Choosing to focus makes you rise. Choosing presence makes you new. Choosing awareness makes you whole. Choosing yourself makes you unstoppable. And now the world feels different. Not louder, but easier to face. Not chaotic, but clear in shape. If the story spoke deeply to you now, if you felt pieces of yourself in it, if it echoed your hidden struggles, if it mirrored your quiet battles, if it felt like your real life today, then don't let this be the ending. Let it become your new beginning. Let it guide your next decisions. Let it reshape your inner world. Let it rebuild the self you lost. Share this with someone you love. Subscribe for deeper stories too. And leave your truth in comments. What will you focus on today?